So as Paul mentioned, this year in Skylanders Imaginators, we are giving kids the power to create their own Skylanders for the first time. They're going to be doing that using this creation crystal. And so the creation crystal allows you to harness the power of mind magic to create your own what we call Imaginator, because it's born from your imagination. And so you'll see here that this is a red creation crystal, and that's because just like our characters, the creation crystals are separated by element. And so this is a fire creation crystal. So I'll place it on the portal. And one of the first things you'll notice is that it has a heartbeat. So the light will pulsate when it's on the portal. And so we begin by looking up to the stars to see the different battle classes that we could become. And these are kind of the ancient fighting styles of Skylands. And so we get to choose from, say, Knight, Smasher, Bowslinger. There's ninjas, bazookas. There's 10 different battle classes for us to choose from. And so it takes on the property of the element that we chose with our creation crystal, as well as the battle class that we choose now. And so you'll see I'm going to begin by creating a fire smasher. And so we begin with a blank slate.
Smasher is born.
And so we look at
use
different
your
parts
imagination.
that we go into to create our Skylander. And so we've got body, gear, color, powers, personality, or just pressing play.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with body. And there you'll see we have part, size, and aura. So we'll begin with parts, which are what make up your character's appearance. And you'll see we have head, eyes, ears, chest, arms, legs, and even tails. So start with the heads.
Nice to meet
So
you.
you'll see here as I go through them, we want to hit all of the different facets that make up a Skylander. And so that means funny, spooky,
This could
adventurous, heroic, weird and squiddy. But I'm going to go with this really cool rocket head here.
Looks good.
And so you'll notice my guy has goggles on, but if I didn't, I could even go in and change the iris of my eyeball. We can go down to ears, and you'll see we've got squid ears, pirate ears, ears of corn, and Spyro horns, which I'm going to affix right here. So what we've got is a lot of unique items, but then some that may reference back to some of your favorite characters to the point where maybe you could go in and maybe create, say, the cousin of Spyro. We want to give you that opportunity to explore new characters, but also, say, some of the same races of the different characters that you've seen in the game. So we'll go down to chest. You'll see similarly we've got funny things like snow, pirate bodies. I'm going to go with this really cool deep sea chest.
Not bad at all.
And one of the things you'll notice is that they're reacting as you're creating the character. And so you'll see them pose, look at their arms as you go in and choose from, say, vampire arms, vine arms, or, well, since I'm going to go with a smasher, he's so buff that he's ripped his sleeves.
Wow.
Do a fist pump when you've chosen them. Legs, I could go in and, be the weird guy who makes a fire character with wooden legs. I'm going to go with adventure legs. And then tail, my favorite, he'll turn around and look, as you could potentially give him an eyeball tail, a wolf tail, or even a sparkly rainbow tail. But I think my character works without a tail right now. And so just that quickly, I've gone in, I've selected my parts. What you're seeing is a small sampling of them. The team's still making them, and then there's also ones that you would discover during your adventure in the game. And so from parts, one of the things I want to highlight is that part, size, aura, all of these things, any of the menus, we want to make it as quick and accessible to the youngest player and as deep and as, rewarding for someone like me who wants to go in and fiddle with everything. And so on any of these menus, notice that we could just simply hit randomize if we'd like to. As lightly down as, say, just randomizing the size, or even going in and having the game randomize an entire character for you. We want to allow you to choose your involvement. But I'm going to go into size, and you'll see we've got different sliders here for, say, height, the size of your head, upper body, lower body, muscles, and if I had a tail, you'd even see a tail width slider. You can make sure you have a really fine skinny tail or a really big bushy tail if you want. And so when I'm making a smasher, I like to focus on the upper body and the muscles, give them a tiny head, but really big arms and a tiny lower body. I think that works pretty well. And then aura is the way to add an additional level of visual effects to your character, really amp up their personality. And so I could add a glow, I could add some electrons, I could make it so he hasn't showered in a month. but I'm playing as a fire character, so I can go in and say add a ring of fire element around my character, so that way it really shows off that fire element. And so from there I could go to gear, and gear covers the different armor and weapons that you could affix to your character. I'm actually going to save that for later in the demo. So I'm going to go into color. And so one of the things you'll notice is that even as I've been choosing these parts, you'll see it's adhering to a common color theme. And so we did that because we want to make sure that it's really speaking to the element of the character, but also making it feel cohesive quickly. If you wanted to, though, you have full control over the entire color palette of your character. And you can do that with either main theme or advanced theme. And so main theme is keeping that cohesive, quick way of making your character look really unified. And so you'll see I'm playing as a fire character, so I have an option of going through a number of these different fire color themes. But to give you an idea, this is what they would look like if I had the original colors of the parts. And so you can kind of get that Frankenstein-y feel if you'd like it, but then we also make it so that you can quickly and easily have it so it's a good, cohesive theme to your character. If you were to go into advanced theme, you'll see you have control over all the different parts. And even there, that's by theme, but if you want to go even deeper, you can go in and individually choose items. So say if I wanted to make the lenses of my goggles blue, I could do that. And so from color, we can talk about powers, but I'm going to save that a little bit later for the demo. So we're going to go into personality, which is my favorite. And so the reason it's my favorite is because what makes a Skylander so unique and so special isn't just how it looks, but it's also how it plays and what its personality is. Something so iconic to a Skylander is that magic moment when you first bring them to life. They say their catchphrase, you hear their voice, and we want to give players the power to create that themselves. And so you have the ability to name your character whatever you'd like. You can also go into voice and create your own catchphrase. And so by combining different part A and part B parts of a sentence, you can create your own combination catchphrase. And so I could say,
You can't handle glitter.
if I wanted that to be my catchphrase, you can't handle glitter could be my catchphrase. And it'll play whenever you have your magic moment. So there's also zombie dance parties, different things like that that speak to the different battle classes, elements, or just things in Skylands. And so I'm playing as a buff character, so
My muscles.
you can't handle my muscles will be my catchphrase. And so once you've created that combination catchphrase, you can choose from a number of different voices for your character. So we have the default of hero, but I could make him a surfer.
You can't handle my muscles.
I could go through for pirate, fairy, wacky, troll, robot, cowgirl.
You can't handle my muscles.
Or I could go through, and I'm going to go with regal.
You can't handle my muscles.
And then once you've chosen that voice, you can even go in and add different effects to it. And so you can make it sound magical, you can make it sound
You can't handle my muscles.
tiny, you can make it sound really big.
Handle my muscles.
You can make it sound like it's coming through a radio, underwater, in a canyon, or even through a robot.
You can't handle my muscles.
So in Skylanders Imaginators, you're going to be able to say, create a samurai squid robotic pirate who attacks, with a fish. I mean, it's going to allow you to create whatever you want in this game. And so I've got, you can't handle my muscles. I've got my regal voice.
My muscles.
I like that. And so music and sound. So this is where you could go and give your character a specific theme song. And so normally in our game, when you get to a really cool action-packed moment, you'll hear the music of the game swell. Well, at this point, you can choose what specific music will swell for which specific character. And they'll even dance to it, which is great. So I could go with funk music. Could have some electronic. There's country. There's a whole bunch of different choices. And this is saved to this specific character. And so when playing with this character, it's a different fun experience when they get into an action-packed moment. And then the sound themes are the ability to choose your sound effects for your character. And so if you imagine I've got an axe, I'm going to swing it right now, and you'll hear the whoosh of the axe being swung. Well, if I wanted to, I could make that a little bit funnier. I could, say, create a robot that looks really old and go with video gamey noises. I could be a little gassy. Or if I created an undead character, I could, say, go with a haunted theme. I always like the gassy one. And so it's an added level of sound effects customization for your character to really help it come up with that personality that you've chosen. And so through all of this, the play button was there. And so at any point during all of this, you can spend a lot of time going through individually creating that character, or you can go down and just press play and take control of your character. So one of my favorite points is the fact that in the character area, the lower left where your health bar is, we always take an updated picture if you've made any changes to your character, so it always reflects the character that you're playing. And so here you'll see I'm playing as my Fire Smasher. So my attacks are determined by that battle class and that element. So I am a Smasher, thus I smash. I am a Fire element, and I have a Fire dash. So Smash and Dash is kind of my combo right. And I like that combo because it allows me to get up close and use those melee attacks. And so really figuring out which element and which battle class goes well together is a lot of fun to what makes up your character. And so if you think about it with 10 different elements and 10 different battle classes, before you even begin creating your character, there are 100 different starting points. And so we've defeated those vultures, and left behind was an Imaginite chest. So let's see what we get. So we found an epic piece of Imaginite. And we can press the explode button. See that we got a new Smasher weapon, the Acoustic Reckoning. It's an epic level weapon, gives us plus 16 attack. And so part of the fun this year is going to be finding new additional items for your character, for other battle classes, and different parts, armor, gear, things like that to outfit a character or even use as inspiration to create a new one. And so I'm going to use this time to switch over to another one of our new characters. And so if these, the Imaginators in these creation crystals, represent brand new Skylanders, they're the apprentices. And these, which are called the Senseis, are the masters. And so you'll see on our Senseis here that they have a symbol in front of their base, and that represents to that battle class that we're introducing. So this is Tri-Tip, and he is also of the Smasher battle class.
Tri-Tip in charge. More levels equals more smashing.
And so by bringing in Tri-Tip, or any of these Senseis, it will lift the level cap for all of your Imaginators. And so if an Imaginator begins at level 20, or not begins, but can reach level 20, bringing in a Sensei will increment that level cap up to 21.
Put your faith in the club.
And so in addition to that training bonus, you'll also see, being that the Masters, they have the most over-the-top animations, the craziest attacks. And they also have a new meter on the side of their picture near their health bar. That is the skychi. And so it's an ultimate super move that only Senseis can perform, which I'm going to show you shortly. But first, we're going to use this robot creator here, this robot. Out some of those vultures, but now let's see what Tri-Tip can do. He's got a really cool head charge there, really powerful mace. So once we get a good field of enemies here, let's unleash that Skychi move. So you'll see really over-the-top ultimate attack that these guys can use. And to refill the meter, you're going to have to defeat more enemies. So by defeating those vultures, another Imaginite chest is dropped. We found a rare piece of Imaginite. And inside we found the Chaos Backpack. And so at this point, we've upped the level cap of our Imaginator. We found 2 pieces of loot that might work for my character. So I'm going to hop back, bring in my character. And so you'll see once you've created a character inside the creation crystal, it's effectively a Skylander now. You get your magic moment when you put it on the portal, and it always is saved to the toy, so you can take it to your friend's house and play with it there. And so when you're playing as your Imaginator, at any point, you can press the button and head back into the Skylander Creator. So from here we'll go into gear. And so gear is made up of weapon, headgear, shoulder guards, arm guards, leg guards, and backpacks. And the thing that differentiates gear from, say, body parts is that gear has stats associated to all of them. And so you'll see a collection of some of the weapons that we have here for our Fire Smasher. See, I could use a caveman club, a really cool mace, the Wrenchinator. But I'm going to go with the Acoustic Reckoning. And so you'll see there, Fireman's Axe gave me +5 attack, but the Acoustic Reckoning gave me +16 attack. So that's a really kind of nice reason for me to switch over to give it a shot.
This doesn't make me look common, does it?
And you'll get that personality from the regal voice. So from here we're going to go down to backpack. So you'll see some different items that we've already unlocked in our quest, like Mr. Bear, some really cool feathered wings. I'm going to go with the Chaos Backpack. So once again you'll see how the character is posing for you so you can see it, and also that it adheres to your color scheme. So it's quickly and easily becoming a part of your character. But by adding that backpack, it'll add the ability for us to change the color of the backpack to that advanced color menu if we'd like. And so I'm also going to show you powers. And so as mentioned, the powers are determined by your battle class as well as your element. Now, all Skylanders use 3 different attack buttons. There's the primary, secondary, and say tertiary when playing as a Skylander. And we divided that up a little bit differently for an Imaginator. So your primary attack is tied to your battle class. I am a smasher. As I said, I smash. Your secondary is going to be an elemental power. And so the elemental power, instead of being a single power for that element that you could upgrade, we've instead given you a choice between elemental powers. So even within just fire, there's currently 4 different elemental powers to choose from, 2 of which we've unlocked. And once you've chosen them, you can even upgrade those. And so I've got our Fire Dash, but if I wanted to, I could have him throw fiery meteors as his attack. And then there's a secret technique. And the secret technique represents an advanced maneuver tied to the battle class. There are different ways to get these secret techniques in the game, but one of the quickest is to bring in a Sensei of the same battle class. And so because I brought in Tri-Tip, it's unlocked a secret technique for me, which we call Here Comes the Pain, which is a crazy belly flop maneuver that we can use. So once again, I can just press play. I get an updated picture where you can see my backpack. And it's already on my character. I've got my guitar weapon, I've got my backpack, and I've got the added ability of Here Comes the Pain, the ultimate crazy belly flop that you'll see in the game. And so a lot of the fun is going through the adventure, finding new pieces of gear, finding new body parts, using those to update how your character looks, how they play, what their stats are, or also using that as a reason to try out new characters. So up ahead you'll see we've got another field of battle. And while I have no doubt my Fire Smasher can take them on, I'm going to use it as an opportunity to show you another character. And so if you've played Skylanders Trap Team, she may look a little familiar. This is the Golden Queen. And so a number of our senseis this year are going to be returning fan favorite villains from Skylanders Trap Team. They have been rehabilitated. They were given the choice between staying in Cloudcracker Prison forever or alphabetizing the entire Skylanders Academy library, which took 2 years and taught them the ways of the Sensei. And so it is that is allowing them to come back as characters. And if you remember in Trap Team, the villains had smaller movesets because you were using them to support your Trap Masters. Well, these have been fully upgraded to full-blown Sensei status. They've got that Skychi maneuver, and they also have a full upgrade path as well as additional moves that you've never seen before.
I reign supreme!
And so you'll see she is a sorcerer.
As you can see, gold
The training bonus goes from 21 to 22. And so the Golden Queen can shoot out Golden Scarab as an attack. She's got the ability to summon this really cool gold turret that launches gold pieces at enemies. She can do a gold attack that has this ring of gold as a chance of turning enemies into gold. And she also has her skychi ability. The ability to summon a swarm of golden scarabs. And so it's fun when playing as a sensei is figuring out the best use for each of their skychi abilities. So hers is more of a giant area of effect attack that can take out multiple enemies, doing damage over time, whereas Tri-Tips is all about attacking different enemies that you choose and slide over to hit. And so this is a Sensei Shrine.
Only a Sensei of the Smasher class can open this shrine.
And so a Sensei Shrine is an ultimate Sensei treasure chest. And so it's for the Smasher class, which is Tri-Tip, so I'll bring him back in. And so the Sensei Shrine is hidden throughout the worlds, and that's where you will go to actually earn the ability to use Skychi for your Sensei. And so through the magical, mystical powers of game development, I've already given him Skychi so we could show it off to you. But we do want to show you the presentation of what unlocking a Sensei Shrine feels like.
All right.
So Skychi power unlocked. And there we go. And so that is our look at Skylanders Imaginators and the limitless possibilities for you to create your own Skylander, and then also the ability to play as these new crazy Battlemaster empowered senseis with their Skychi powers.